Morning. It's morning coffee on Friday. Today I wanted to just touch base a little bit about levels of consciousness. And there's a wonderful book that was written by a gentleman named David Hawkins. Let me show you the book. It's The Map of Consciousness Explained. So in this book, he's one of several authors that give different types of tools that you can utilize to measure where you're at in your consciousness, in your awareness, in your awakenedness. And mind you, I'm not using that word woke because if I'm truthfully honest, that word absolutely irritates me. Woke, I'm going to revisit a definition that I shared with you earlier. Woke people tend to be, and this is not meant as a blanket statement because there are always anomalies to every impression that we have, but my impression is that the woke individuals tend to be folks who have noticed the negativity in our world and the wrongness around us, and they're angry and they're agitated, and their idea of how to right the wrong is to become I'm trying to think of the right words to say it, activated around their anger. And this is honestly keeping them in the same energetic level, the same consciousness, if you will, of those people who are doing the negative behaviors that we don't want to see. When you are an awakened individual, and I know I'm playing a semantics game, so you can go ahead and say that or not. It doesn't matter to me. But there's a different energy. Words carry energy. When you are awakened, you see the different energy that is manifesting in the behaviors, and you see the same thing as a woke individual. You see the damage and the problematic situation that is in front of us, and instead of activating in a from a seat of anger, your passion comes from a seat of being a creature of love. How can I be changed? And it starts with yourself. You won't tolerate in yourself those same behaviors that you are agitated by in others. I had a friend who had a child who shared that they were trans, and for me, for me, and of course everybody's not me. If that were my child, I would be heavily involved with that child because I have deep love. How can I make sure that you feel safe? How can I ensure that you are getting the right community support around you? How can I ensure, what can we do as a family to ensure that you feel taken care of? And because it's a tremendously fearful thing for an individual to be transsexual in this environment that we live in, where there's so much polarity. There are people who are accepting, there are people who are hateful, and there are people who are embracing. And so as I inquired of my friend how, and the response was very nonchalant. What do I care? Who cares what they do? Da 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 da. And that's an accepting mentality, yes, but it's not an engaged and embracing mentality of your child who, or anyone for that matter, who is going through what is really a very paradigm shifting space. And they have chosen to step onto this planet as massive paradigm shifters. And again, I will say, these people, your trans people, your all of your people in the LGBTQTA community are heroes in my mind, because that is not a path that my soul chose, because I apparently am not that resilient, and you are. And so my hat's off to you, because I think that is phenomenal, because your path is to push society and humanity hard around the concept of, can you be love to all people? And I think we who are not in that vein of thought have to step back and stand in awe of any soul that would step on the planet and say, I will be that paradigm shifter. I will be someone like that. And to not be that person myself, to be able to embrace that change and embrace those souls, and not just say, well, cool, I accept them, it's okay, they can be different. That's a step in the right direction, but it's not change. It's not embracing. It's not it's not shifting the paradigm in the manner in which maybe we need to see, so that we can all move the world. So one of the things that I would share here is this map of consciousness. I want to share with you. Mr. Hawkins talks about most people sit, if they're lucky, in the space on his map, the map of consciousness. You're not going to be able to see all the words, but it's a fairly lengthy one. It goes from a level, this is a logarithmic scale, goes from 20 all the way up to 1,000, 1,000 being enlightenment level, 20 being the level of shame and misery. But most people, if they're lucky, are sitting at 200. That's the level of courage. To be at love, you have to be at a 500. Now that's not 300 steps above. That's a logarithmic, 10 to the 500 versus 10 to the 200. So understand, that's a huge leap in your energy, and you're not going to do it in a lifetime, in one lifetime. So thinking about where you're at in your consciousness, thinking about how you embrace being an individual of love, how you step out, and where are you in consciousness is something really, really important, and super important in shifting this paradigm away from one that is filled with anger and hatred and despair, into something where we can embrace others, and we can be beings who are kind and compassionate and patient and loving creatures, which is what we came here to be. So those are my thoughts on Friday morning. I hope you have a great Friday, and I hope you have a fabulous weekend.